Redline logbook here for chapter 40 of Wistoria. And we start where we left off with Elfie and Zero's attack colliding. Two of Eleanor's elves' attendants had to build an entire barrier just to keep everyone in the room alive, because this attack was massive. And when I say massive, I mean massive. It shook the town. And that's even with the barrier containing it. It seems anyone who knows the magic wand realized what was happening, including Walkins and Edward. In fact, Edward was pissed off, still angry at the fact that he was one step away from being a magic wand and failed. Like I said in the last chapter, Will finally regained full consciousness when he saw the two attacks collide. So he's freaking out, because Elfie might be dead. She's not. Both her and Zero are the only ones who took the full blunt of those attacks, and they both survived it. They're currently getting up all bloodied, and neither of them still wants to give up. The two just start charging right at each other, and that's when the other two magic wand decide to get in the way. You would think they're going to try to stop this because they don't want these two to almost kill each other, but they allowed a massive attack from both of them. So the reason why they got in their way is quite simple. They're out of time, and I put that in quotation marks because the king has arrived. Aaron is there, and he is not going to let them fight anymore. Both Elfie and Zero do not care. Neither of them is willing to back down out of this, even if the king says so. And so, the king comes up with a simple solution. Rock, paper, scissors. Everyone is confused by this. In fact, Elfie and Zero's souls seem to have left their bodies. The only person who thinks this is entertainment is Finn still, who starts laughing his ass off at the idea that this will be decided by rock, paper, scissors. Both Elfie and Zero decide to protest this, but Aaron basically says, I don't care. This is the only way I'm going to accept you deciding this. Otherwise, I will get involved. Pissed off, the two finally accept this and start doing rock, paper, scissors and tying over and over and over again. That's when Will finally asks Julius what's happening, and Julius' response is, it's all your fault. And as time went by, finally there's a winner. After 299 draws, on round 300, Zero wins with rock. So as you can imagine, Elfie falls down, starts crying uncontrollably. But the funny thing is that Liana is then ordered to clap for their boss's victory. In rock, paper, scissors. I am not making this up. Zero then grabs onto Will and says, let's go. And that is when Elfie grabs onto Will as well, while bawling her eyes out, saying she's not going to let Will be taken away. And that's when Will realized it hasn't just been a long journey for him. He's not the only one who's been waiting 6 years. Elfie's also been alone climbing the tower. And so the fact that they were this close is just heartbreaking in the end. Will then promises that he will continue to work hard and he'll get to her as he promised. And that's when Elfie is then dragged away by Sarissa, who is probably have the hardest job in the tower. Zero then comments that he's surprised that Will was willing to go so willingly. And Will's response is, well, if I didn't, Elfie would have immediately come back and fought you again, and I don't want her to get hurt. So as long as you promise never to cause problems with Elfie, he will join him. And if he breaks that promise, he'll defeat him himself. Will is then given his colors, and they all head off together. We have a little jump in time, and every single student that graduated from the academy is now in a room together, no matter what their faction is. And Julius's first complaint to Will is that Elfie just tried to quit. Him and every other member of the Ice faction basically had to convince her with everything they had to stay. Basically, Julius likes to remind Will that everything is his fault. That's when Kiri shows up, and she's there to give them an announcement. Now, the entire class graduated, including the other two colors that weren't able to pass with Will and Julius. They also were given colors and are now passing. So we actually learned what their class's name is. It's called Disquiet. If you don't know what the word Disquiet means, it basically means worry or anxiety. So I can't tell if their class is being referred to as the class of anxiety or their class that lives in anxiety time. I'm going to assume it's anxiety times, because they did graduate around the time the whole big event happened at the festival. I'm going to assume it's the latter because Kawi even compliments them as being a very impressive generation. But back to the main topic at hand. What's supposed to happen at this moment is they're supposed to be explained the rules and the regulations of the tower, yada yada yada. But that's not going to happen this time. Nope. This time, they're all going to be given a special mission. And why are they going to be given a special mission? It's because they're all outsiders who just joined the tower. And that's important because into the incident that we just talked about, the massacre at the festival, all evidence points to the fact that a member of the tower is a traitor. Yep, there's someone in there who aided the enemy. And since these kids just entered the tower, there's a high possibility that none of them are traitors. So they can be trusted to investigate the rest of the tower, which is like asking an ant to investigate an elephant. I mean, having a traitor makes perfect sense based on what happened, because everything was set up perfectly, but asking new graduates who do the investigation is insane, because obviously they're not meant to engage with the traitor. They're supposed to take the evidence to higher ups, most likely Kiwi, and she'll take care of it. But the problem here, these people are not detectives. They're not spies, which means the way they do investigation is probably going to be pretty obvious. And so if they do find evidence of the traitor is most likely going to figure it out and is going to kill them because they're a person in the tower, so they're most likely more powerful. This is one hell of a risk that they're taking with these kids. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe, give a thumbs up so you enjoy more Wistoria and other many things. Thank you, and have a great day.